Welcome to Robinson College Chapel, or at least as near as you're likely to get to Robinson College Chapel for the foreseeable future. In a non-COVID year, we tend to have a chapel service where you will struggle to find a seat when the choir are in magnificent voice and where one of our fellows gives a highly inspirational talk about the future that awaits beyond these walls each one of our students. In a COVID year, everything is very different. To begin with, it's difficult not to say things like, "This is not the graduation we were expecting," or "We will celebrate with you as soon as we were able," which is true, of course. And then the tendency is to launch into a lengthy monologue, like the one I'm about to deliver. In fact, all I would really like to do is to feed back to you just 3 nuggets of student insight that I've heard from this year's graduands. As chaplain, it's been my privilege to spend a huge amount of time with students, either on Zoom, on socially distanced walks, or prior to COVID, on football pitches and at dinners and visits to the bar. So just 3 nuggets of studently wisdom. Firstly, lockdown is an introvert's paradise. For one reason or another, Cambridge students seem to have a disproportionately high number of people who regard themselves as introvert. And by introvert, I think they mean that they draw their energy from their own company rather than from the company of others. An introvert's paradise. And of course, that's not a universal truth, but it's surprising how often you do hear it from students. Although I don't believe I've heard any parents describing the same experience in such positive terms. Secondly, several students have quietly confessed to me, usually checking that no one else is listening, that they have really enjoyed lockdown. And there seem to be multiple reasons for this. One said that the exam system suited them far better than the traditional system. Another said that when she emerged back into the world of 3 dimensions after being in lockdown, she said, "I had forgotten I was small," because that just didn't come across in any Zoom meeting. And then thirdly, when it comes to resourcefulness, one student near the beginning told me in the great toilet paper shortage of 2020, that he had been compelled to use a lettuce leaf. Probably not what you would want to hear as a parent, but I wasn't sure if it was true, and my suspicions were confirmed when he added, "And that's just the tip of the iceberg." Even so, the resourcefulness of our students over the last year and a half has been phenomenal. None of this, of course, detracts from the fact that so many of our students have struggled enormously. And though we might call it a character building experience, nobody envies those who are struggling their way through a character building experience. Of course, we would prefer to continue eating and drinking and being alongside others. And of course, any institution is going to struggle under the kind of conditions that we've had imposed on us, and rightly so. Of course, we do recognise the crucial support that so many families have given during this period. And of course, most of us prefer our times to be precedented. So, in the midst of all the inescapable negativity that surrounds COVID restrictions, these students have worked and studied and achieved in a way that brings credit to themselves, to their families and to their college. So on behalf of the college and our chapel community, all I can say is, I salute you. God be with you.